This is Beyond the Rift on normal and hard.
This is unlike anything you have ever seen.
So once this quest is done, we'll be
stone
able to travel
float in the
between
air, tethered together
Eberron
by
and
huge
Evening Star.
strands
Up
of
to now, we
webbing.
haven't been able to get to Evening
Yet
Star.
these are not barren
There's some
rocks.
level 15 quests,
You
but
can
we weren't
see
able to get to
signs
them
of
until we ran this
life
chain
clinging to
at
them.
level 16.
A voice in the distance calls to you.
Take heed, friend.
You're a stranger here, I'm thinking. What brings ye into the demon web? Ye must have come through the rift that she made. The rift to the other world. Perhaps ye have come to mend it. 'Tis no small task. I can aid ye in all this, but it will not be easy. Come with me. We are in the realm of the vile goddess Loth. She and her sister, the Spinner of Shadows, are the source of thy current troubles. 'Twas only possible for me to come here because Loth let her guard slip when the rift opened, and I cannot easily leave the demon web until she slips again. This rift,
And while I'm waiting for
her
this to
sister,
open, I might as well
the magic
use my daily
shards
dice.
she's plundered from your world, they are all part of some vast and tangled scheme of Loth's. Closer to my home, Loth now wages war on the kingdom of Cormier in a little village named Evening Star. This rift and that war are bound together in her plan, and so are you, I suspect. Hark! I sense that she has dropped her guard again. Occupied with her sister, most like. I must leave while I can. Find thy way to Evening Star. I will meet you there. 'Tis a dangerous journey, but ye seem to be accustomed to dangerous journeys.
Elminster departs. The demon web sprawls out before you. Somewhere in this chaotic maze lies the path to the place Elminster called Evening Star. The hunched creatures ahead make some strange and disgusting sounds that will reach the old bones. They produce even more disgusting smells.
This part is fairly linear. There's really only one path to take. If you fall down, you'll be transported somewhere further back.
What will she do now that she is free from her prison in Khyber? Only the strong survive in the demon web, and these treacherous were not strong.
So at this point, you have two paths. The path forward is this webbed thing up. If you go there, you'll just fight a bunch of spiders, I believe. And then the optional that we're getting is up here. If you want to explore that, I'm not going to do the optional, but it would be up that ramp if you ever want to explore that optional.
The demon web is
Ozball the Unwholesome. He has more than one location he can be. That's one of the locations. And given where we got the message, that's probably where he is.
In the distance, the spinner of shadows scuttles along the demon web, intent on some errand of her own.
Alright, so once we get here, it's not as linear. So we've only had a couple of decision points of where to go. So that's a shrine, it's a dead end, and then we'll just keep going this way. Kind of follow this path down and around.
A spider hatchery lies empty. The brood it bore has already consumed the weak and the slow. Then
Alright, so the way I go, again, I pretty much always go the same way. But I take this right,
unless you find a way to repair
clear this island, and then keep on going straight, which is kind of northish. And now we're going west. And there's another shrine, and so I'm going to keep following this path here, which is where we want to go. That cave is the end of this area, and that's the way forward. The rest of the webs are just basically, you can see they're a couple, they're up, down, but basically they all eventually will lead here to go forward. And then this, you actually just drop down. You don't take either of these web things. They're just kind of decorative. You drop down here, and you have a boss to fight.
On a distant shard of the demon web, Loth greets the spinner of shadows.
It is time, my sister. The dragon shards are in place, so let us begin the ritual. I promise you power beyond imagining. Now join me, sister. Let go of your physical form and join me. Become greater than you ever were. Become one with Loth!
Loth vanishes with a piercing burst of magical energy, and for an instant you stand transfixed by the strange scene. Then a sudden onslaught of the Spider Queen's servants snaps you back to the situation at hand.
So holy, sometimes there's spiders kind of hiding here. You have to get them to get the objective. The Dragoloth defeated objective that you see in the top there. If you miss a spider, you won't get that. Alright, so here's this thing here is a chest. It doesn't look like it. It looks like a web-covered egg, but it's actually a chest. Another shrine. Lots of shrines in this quest.
Lies a glimmering magical portal. You have no way of knowing what strange new world it leads to. But at least it will take you away from the demon web. You find yourself in a vast cavern of stone deep below the surface.
The shrines are a little too front-loaded. There's a bunch in the beginning, not much near the end.
From the vastness of the Underdark.
The one that, the last shrine is actually one that's sort of like heavily guarded area. You have to fight a bunch more mobs if you want to use it. So normally what people do is there's one more shrine coming up here relatively soon, and that's kind of the shrine people try to use if they want a shrine, and then and then they'll skip the earlier ones, and we'll skip the one that's heavily guarded. All right, so there's some elementals here. I usually just take them as I get up to them, because sometimes they'll like come and attack all at once if you don't take care of them.
The sound of battle has alerted another colony of deadly spiders.
And these mobs of spiders, it's like 3, but it's a lot on Elite. It's like probably 12 or something. And then this mob coming up here is even bigger on Elite. Alright, this looks like the way forward. And I'm not going to shrine, but this here is kind of what is the last shrine that's not like guarded. So there's another shrine, but you have to. These spell wards, you just click on them to remove them. They can also be removed with the spell magic scrolls.
You have
So if
stumbled
somebody
into a group
doesn't have
of
trapping
heavily
skills,
armed drow. They don't look anything like the drow you've encountered back on Eberron, and they also don't look pleased to see you. 3 drow scouts are talking on the ledge above. Perhaps they can lead you up to the surface. A magical portal lies ahead. If the scouts are right, it will take you closer to the surface.
Alright, so I'm going to put my Boots of the Mire set on and a jump potion. I don't know if this requires a max jump, but you know, a good jump helps.
On the other side of the ravine ahead.
And then I'm just going to kind of hug this wall to try to aggro less stuff over here. If you don't make that jump, you're going to fight a bunch of elementals.
Surface dwellers down here.
It snaps.
The slavers are growing careless.
That's on that side.
We shall have to clean up after them.
And at this point, if you do need a shrine, there's a shrine to the left there, but it's heavily guarded, so like a bunch of things will pop out and attack you. Not beyond these guys. These guys are hallway guards, but there's stuff in the shrine area as well. So I try not to use that area if I can avoid it, but you know, it's not that tough of a fight. It just kind of slows things down because you have the shrine, plus you have to get rid of the enemies.
Once again, you see the now familiar sight of the drow.
We go in fully buffed here. This fight's pretty tough on higher difficulties.
A small but
well-guarded
drow outpost lies up ahead.
So you either want to draw them back, or you want to try to get there before they activate and Holy Retribution. He's an orange name that acts like or a yellow name that acts like a red name. So I would think that would work, but he must have a very high save. Alright. So then we just go up here. There's probably a ward down there. Grab this chest, and this is the end fight coming up.
A fresh breeze blows down from the leader of the drow, turns to confront you.
More fodder for the slave.
So you can see that shrine in the background. A common tactic used to be to jump on top of that shrine to do this fight. You range him, but I don't think that works anymore.
Over here. Let us.
The villagers in the cage anxiously
I think they addressed that issue.
Lever near the door.
And then we just talked to Anna.
Thank the gods, I'd almost given up hope. But where did you come from?
And there's a chest up here. And this will take you to Evening Star here. Now that we've completed this quest, we're gonna go right back in on hard. So I'm not gonna go out, but I'll walk from here to the quest reward after the hard, so you can see Evening Star a little bit and just see the path to get to the quest giver. It's not. You can sort of see it on the map, but when you're not on the map, or when you're like there, it's a little hard to see because he doesn't have a checkbox above him. Sort of like that one. There's one enemy in Giant Hold that's like that as well. All right. Oh, we have to go to. We actually can't go. I'll have to do that now because we can't go rerun this quest until we talk to Elminster, who's in Evening Star. So now that we've run this quest, we can go to Evening Star. It's not giving us the quest option only because we have to get the end reward first. Then we'll see that option as well. So this is Evening Star Cavern. You just take this out to Evening Star. And we are now in the Forgotten Realms. So DDO is based on Eberron. But
The
we
people here know
traveled
the name
plains
of
to
Elminster, the wizard who braved the
Evening
demon
Star,
web. Some
Forgotten
call him
Realms.
the Sage of Shadowdale, others
And
the
so
great over-sorcerer.
You just follow this
If
path
anyone
here.
can fathom Lolth's plans, Elminster will.
And these are your saga rewards here. There's a lot of sagas in this in Evening Star. There's 2 more sagas over here, and there's a saga over that way as well. Lots of sagas. So once you get to the center of the village, this well is a quest with a acid dragon or green dragon, and then Elminster looks like, like you've already talked to him, but you could actually talk to him now to get the end reward. Seems a little buggy, but let's see. I'm gonna grab nothing too interesting, so I'm just gonna grab this. And then you can't take it again. So I'm going to pause it while I go back and get the quest again, and then go on in hard. And heading back in on hard.
This is unlike anything you have ever seen before. Mountains of stone float in the air, tethered together by huge strands of webbing. Yet these are not barren rocks. You can see signs of life clinging to them. A voice in the distance calls to you.
Take heed, friend. You're a stranger here, I'm thinking. What brings ye into the demon web? Ye must have come through the rift that she made. The rift to the other world. Perhaps ye have come to mend it. 'Tis no small task. I can aid ye in all this, but it will not be easy. Come with me. We are in the realm of the vile goddess Lolth. She and her sister, the Spinner of Shadows, are the source of thy current troubles. 'Twas only possible for me to come here because Lolth let her guard slip when the rift opened, and I cannot easily leave the demon web until she slips again. This rift, her sister, the magic shards she's plundered from your world, they are all part of some vast and tangled scheme of Lolth's. Closer to my home, Lolth now wages war on the kingdom of Cormier in a little village named Evening Star. This rift and that war are bound together in her plan, and so are you, I suspect. Hark! I sense that she has dropped her guard again. Occupied with her sister, most like. I must leave while I can. Find thy way to Evening Star. I will meet ye there. 'Tis a dangerous journey, but ye seem to be accustomed to dangerous journeys.
Elminster departs. The demon web sprawls out before you. Somewhere in this chaotic maze lies the path to the place Elminster called Evening Star. The hunched creatures ahead make some strange and disgusting sounds as they reach the old bones. They produce even more disgusting smells. The spinner of shadow looms in the distance. What will she do now that she is free from her prison in Khyber? Only the strong survive in the demon web, and these creatures were not strong.
And we want to avoid that. The straight path is just a fight you don't need. You want to take this web ramp up for the main path.
Far away in the center of the demon web is a vast structure that can only be Lolth's lair. In the distance, the spinner of shadows scuttles along the demon web, intent on some errand of her own.
And that's the shrine. We don't need to go the shrine, so we're just going to go the way forward.
A spider hatchery lies empty. The brood it bore has already consumed the weak and the slow. Then, dispersed in fragments of long-forgotten worlds, lie ensnared in Lolth's web.
And then at the intersection, I'm going to go. You can go left or right. I'm going to go right. And then take this path. Past the shrine to this end area. This cave here is the end area we want to get to. The end of this area, I should say. And then we got that optional and kind of a strange. Oh, I passed up the optional. Never mind. And this is the.
On a distant shard of the demon web.
A demon fight. He's orange name, so in theory I can use my holy retribution on him. It worked last time. We'll see if it works this time.
So let us begin the ritual. I promise you power beyond imagining. Now join me, sister. Let go of your physical form and join me. Become greater than you ever were. Become one with Lolth.
Lolth vanishes with a piercing burst of magical energy, and for an instant you stand transfixed by the strange scene. Then a sudden onslaught of the Spider Queen's servants snaps you back to the situation at hand.
And you want to make sure you get this Dragoloth if you did a message that lets you know you're not missing any spiders.
Ahead lies a glimmering magical portal. You have no way of knowing what strange new world it leads to. You find yourself in a vast cavern of stone deep below the surface. If you are to find Elminster, you must first make your escape from the vastness of the Underdark. The sound of battle has alerted another colony of deadly spiders.
And as a reminder, this is your last unguarded shrine. The next shrine is, I forget exactly how many, but it's heavily guarded. You have to fight to get to be able to use it.
You have stumbled into a group of heavily armed drow. They don't look anything like the drow you've encountered back on Eberron. And they also don't look pleased to see you. Three drow scouts are talking on the ledge above. Perhaps they can lead you up to the surface. A magical portal lies ahead. If the scouts are right, it will take you closer to the surface.
And I'm going to get my jump boosts on here.
The drow patrol
The only
you
difference
saw
between
before
this
is
and
taking
missing
a
the
break
jump
on the other side of the
is that
ravine
you'll
ahead.
fight a bunch of elementals below. So it's quite a bit of a time
Above, a
saver
strange
to
creature spots you.
Surface dwellers down
be
here.
able to do this.
It snaps.
The slavers are growing careless. I shall have to clean up after them.
And that's left is where there's a shrine, but you have to fight for it. All right, looks like we got some animated armors coming.
2 spiders stand guard in front of the gate, almost as if they had been ordered to do so. Once again, you see the now familiar sight of the Drow's surface patrol. A small but well-guarded Drow outpost lies up ahead.
I'm just gonna ignore that one since we're almost. I'd like to get up here before this, before they turn red.
These Drow fought with military precision unheard of on Sintra. Even so, the defender of the outpost is finally dead. You may freely pass through its portal and learn what lies beyond. A fresh breeze blows down. The leader of the Drow turns to confront you.
More fodder for the slaves. Seize them!
A voice from inside the cage calls to you. The villagers in the cage anxiously point to a large lever near the door.
Thank the gods, I'd almost given up hope. But where did you come from?
And I'm gonna pause it while I go to Elminster to get the end reward. And as a reminder, Elminster doesn't show us like he has an end reward, but if you talk to him, he'll give you one. And you have to actually, you can't repeat that quest until you talk to him and then go back to the original quest giver and then get the quest. So I'm just going to grab something for breaking down in the, for essences, and that is Beyond the Rift on normal and hard.